Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to Restaurant Industry Podcast. I'm Voss Sanchez.
And I'm Tyler Edwards. We are two restaurant industry vets talking about what we love
And what we hate
with restaurant industry professionals.
on a podcast. Back to another episode of RIP Restaurant Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Voss Sanchez. With me, as always, my co-host, Tyler Edwards. Tyler, how are you today, sir?
So good, I can't stand it.
Oh, man. That I've worked with him for too long, and that's the worst thing he could possibly say. Today, we are joined by a dear friend, a longtime industry professional in the game, a back-of-house veteran, one of the hardest-working dishwashers in the city. Great resume. Punch over there. Everybody welcome Alan to the show. Alan.
Hi. Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Thanks
dude.
for joining us, dude. I love that.
I'm excited. Tyler was like, you want to do a podcast? And then he's like, you want to do it in like 2 days? I was like, yeah, I guess so. Here we go. Let's go.
That's been about everybody. That's been about how it's gone.
It's the industry, right?
Yeah.
Like you're either available
Roll
or
with the
not
punches,
available
man.
at any
Yeah.
5-minute interval of your life. So,
Yeah.
But-
we're lucky to be able to get anybody,
Yeah, man.
honestly.
Thank you for joining us, dude. Thank you so much. So I heard you are currently in R&D, research and development, as it were.
Yeah,
Okay.
in a sense.
Cool.
So I do design food for airlines.
Okay.
But I also kind of oversee food flying out of Hartsfield
Whoa.
as well. So it's a very different lifestyle.
Wow, that is definitely
Would you say
different.
the biggest difference is that you're not currently working in this very hour at 7?
Yeah, that's definitely one of them. There are, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are days where, like,
It's a
it
grind.
is very much like, okay, like I've done some 18-hour shifts on this gig.
Sure.
But yeah, for the most part, it's a huge change in lifestyle.
I think a lot of, I speak for myself. When I was in the kitchen, this kind of a change of lifestyle would have been the most welcome thing ever, to use the knowledge that I had and the expertise that I had, but not have to work back-breaking long hours involving outside of my expertise, like having to take gross trash out and like mop a floor and
Dude, I mean,
squeegee a bathroom.
tip of the iceberg. I mean,
Right,
it's just
exactly.
Like every minute of the day is like so volatile. You know, you could be working on like the first big project of a 30-piece prep list, and then the produce order shows up,
Right,
and
right.
then
Stop.
you
Stop,
forgot
stop,
that you forgot that you were draining the deep fryer, and so it overflows, and so now. You know what I mean? And so it's
Nightmare
constant.
scenarios.
There's 1,000 things. There's 1,000 wrenches that get thrown in. And I think, to me, it's just such an unsustainable list of requirements. You know what I mean?
Say that again.
You can't possibly do it at that level. Like if you're the opening prep cook, right? You start off. Let's say you got to go get the mats out of the dish pit. You got to lay the mats out, right? You got to get the trash cans. You got to put liners in the trash. Oh, we don't have liners. They're gonna downstairs. You go downstairs, down 2 flights of stairs. I fucking forgot my goddamn keys, and so you have to go back up the 2 fucking flights of stairs, and so you get, everything is just 1,000 times harder than it needs to be, and it could be 1,000,000 times harder at the drop of a hat.
At the drop of a
Yeah,
hat.
you never know.
But now,
It's constantly shifting.
inside the world that you're working, obviously it's not to say that this is easy street or anything like that, but it's a different animal, right? Like it's a little bit of a different mindset, different pace.
Yeah, 100%. I would say instead of getting paid for my manual labor in my body, I'm getting paid like mostly for using my brain,
Amazing.
and like using my skill set that obviously I gained from being a chef and working through all of the things that we've
Understanding
just
how
talked
to
about.
read a P&L, knowing how to find food costs. It's
Explain
like-
P&L for those that don't know.
Well, you explain it. You're the one who reads it.
So P&L is profit and loss statements. It's basically money in, money out for a business, line item by line item. Like labor is part of your P&L, food costs is part of your P&L, beverage cost, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, see that?
Yeah.
Again, these are points that I think a lot of people out in the world sometimes don't understand, that there's a lot more than just putting hot food on a plate. You know what I mean? And a lot
there's
more than
also,
writing a schedule. Like it's a lot.
It's interesting because there are plenty of incredible chefs out there
100%.
who have never seen a P&L in their life.
Well,
Exactly.
Yeah, I
like-
completely agree. I worked for some.
Yeah, and like whether that's to their advantage or disadvantage,
Sure.
who's to say, right?
It's likely disadvantage.
Yeah,
likely.
I would agree. I've used a P&L before to negotiate pay and stuff like,
Certainly.
I've sat down at a table with an owner and been like, here's your budgets on salaries for the last 5 years. Here's what you're currently running. so technically this is the money on the table.
Right.
Like, and here's how much I want of it. And he was like, you did that? I'm like, yeah, you know.
Boom.
You're like, man,
I would like to get paid.
he's not changing the trash bags early enough. Clearly, we
He
gotta
has too
find
much time on his
we have to
hands.
find
He's
some other
sitting there
thing to
building
do.
Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheets and projecting my sales.
Yeah, I'm gonna cancel the peeled garlic that got ordered and make sure this guy has something to do next week.
Good Lord. But that's what I'm talking about. Like that's 100% what I mean. That like, and I know we've harped on this a little bit, but like shows like the Beurre don't show that. You know what I mean? Like they're not showing this element of the industry that is like there is a perspective in the mind of a chef that goes far beyond just the understanding of like flavor and food profiles and all that stuff. It has to do with the business of it. It has to do with understanding the money of it and like the loss of it all. And like in a prior episode or in another episode, we mentioned like some people get into this thing thinking they're going to get rich. Like some people open restaurants thinking they're going to get rich, and it's like you clearly do not. That's a person who's never looked at a P&L.
Tyler and I had a long conversation about this like, on Friday.
Sure.
It's like, I think that is a major flaw in reasoning for anyone who wants to do this to make money.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have to probably pull in 10 million before you start seeing 200.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the crazy part
like,
that people
you gotta
don't
get
understand.
3 restaurants under your belt, really,
Right.
if you want to be like, oh, I'm gonna go get
3
a nice-
restaurants under your belt that are successful, that are
Right.
open beyond the 3 to even 5 year point
Right.
before you start seeing any kind of profit revenue.
Yeah.
Like
And honestly, man, like the distribution of perishable product in any capacity, if you're selling like, fresh squeezed juice, or you're selling, vegetables, just raw, unprepped veg. You have there's a time crunch. You got to get this product out ASAP.
Right.
And I think there's been a massive turn where people are like, all right, well, I can't deal with the cost of the loss associated with the ebbs and the flows of regular services. So I'm not going to distribute perishable goods anymore. I'm going to distribute frozen goods.
Right.
Everyone's food became frozen. Right. I mean, it's been like a long period, like started in like the 80s or maybe like the 60s or
Right.
something. But
Right.
like making food non-perishable became like that's the cheat code.
it became a
Right?
solution.
Restaurant,
Yeah,
yeah,
it became
exactly.
a big
That's
solution.
the only way you can have like your food be even closely resemble a fixed cost.
Sure.
Right, is if you're just stuck, it's just widgets at that point. Right?
And
How
then
many cases of this? Those cases equal this many dollars. This many dollars buys this many cases. It's
It's a balancing act.
and it sucked all
That's
of the
easier,
all of the creative fixes associated with being
sure.
a chef became unimportant. At least from where I was standing in the industry, like kind of overnight, right? Like,
And I think I agree with you, and I think that's like 90%. I mean, what I do, like the amount of volume think it's Hartsfield. It's the
Busiest airport in the world.
In
Yeah.
the world,
In the
right?
world.
5
in the
million,
world,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
5 million meals a day or some shit. Right?
It's
Give me that number. 5 million meals a day?
It's no. It's closer to like 150,000 a week. So it's 2,000
It's a
plated.
monster.
No,
meals
I
alone.
meant like consumed in Hartsfield, like that
Oh,
from like
right.
all the restaurants and shit.
Yeah,
too.
I'm sure.
5
I
million.
highly doubt it.
There's so much food.
Don't quote me
moving.
on that. Fact check me if you can.
We're not going to do that.
I mean, but I can tell you,
Literally being
legit,
quoted as we
like,
speak.
at least like for business class and first class, like coming out of our facilities, it's 2,000 plated meals alone, and that's business and first. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count for coach.
With the way a plane's broken down, there's 220 other passengers on their plane. There's about 80 who are getting plated food.
Right.
So like,
So you've had to wrap your head around like the logistics and all the processes associated with feeding people on airplanes, but you focused most of your fucking career doing that in restaurants.
yeah,
Which would you say is easiest?
bro. It like
Like start to
Give you-
finish, the full process, right? The hiring, the training, the restaurants, you gotta clean more.
it depends on the
things,
restaurant,
maybe.
man.
Sure.
Like, and that's the thing, and that's kind of where I was going before, where it's like, we're talking about frozen food. I can't produce that type of volume without bringing in frozen products,
Sure.
Right.
fat products,
Sure.
stuff like that. But like a restaurant that's serving 200 people a night,
Well,
why would you?
Right,
But I've heard that chefs do, and I'm like, what's the point?
For sure.
Like,
Well, so that's exactly
but
right.
here's the
and
point.
No shade, like there's some pretty good frozen product out there. I must
Absolutely.
admit,
Yeah.
right?
Certainly.
Like I was a chef for a long time, some things that are flash frozen, peak season, etc.
IQF, like,
you know,
it's like,
like
Sure.
it couldn't get any better. Especially things that are like frozen on the fucking boat, fish, for example. Right. Things that are frozen on the boat couldn't get any fucking fresher than this. My understanding, anyway. You know, and I could be missing some pretty big bits of information here that just aren't made available to people in the industry, right? But my understanding is farms came about to be like, hey, we're gonna run out of this shit if we don't keep fucking doing it right.
Mitigate the
you know, because there was a period of time when people were running around just chasing mushrooms in the fucking wilderness, and then no one had mushrooms sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh fuck, we can grow these. It's not unlike that with every other edible product. Well, yeah, vegetables, man. Like, you know, and so. You know, being that we're chasing down the last hunted species as far as like wild fish is concerned, right? That's a hunted thing. So there's insane irregularities. You never know what the fucking weather's gonna be. There's a fucking hurricane 300 miles off the coast of Honduras, and no one in Maine gets their mahi. People like don't connect those dots. So like. It makes sense for people to find ways to make sure that these markets are supplied year round and less dependent on seasonality and less dependent on weather, etc. Right?
But I think
economies
so
in other countries. A strike, sorry to interrupt. A strike in fucking Chile.
And the guy who's running the fish and chip shack in Maine, is he paying attention to global economics?
Right,
like,
exactly.
You know,
But he's got a
just
staff.
yelling at his permit like, "What? Why couldn't you get it?
Yeah,
why
yelling
didn't
at
you jump
his,
in
he's
5%?
yelling at his rep looking for that cod. What's going
this
on?
is ridiculous.
So thank God for things like farms and those aspects, right? And thank God for like frozen at sea things, right? When people they're out at sea for a really, really long time. Without that technology, they have to come back in and go back out and come back in.
I bring this up. I bring this up only because there's so much misinformation, like on TikTok and on all the social media platforms, of people that think they know what they're talking about, and they get out there and they're like, "Don't buy farmed," and then other people are like, "Don't buy wild." There's this huge dichotomy of like one is bad and one is good, and they don't see that like one sort of feeds the other in a way. Like,
look, there are
you need
shitty
one
farms.
Sure, 100%.
Farms.
There's bad pork, there's bad beef, there's bad veggies.
Yeah,
I mean,
There's
shit.
commodity everything. Not that plenty of people, but like
No, but what's shittier than eating every single one of those living things?
Right.
Until there are no more of them.
Grinding them into
You know what I
one
mean?
sausage.
Kind of our
That's a
job
bit
as humans,
shittier.
though, dude.
Yes.
I flew to Thailand, and we were using Korea Air to fly over there. And when we got to like over Korea, we were taking a connection from Incheon over to Thailand. That connecting flight, they were like, "Oh, we'll have a meal," because it was like a 6-hour flight, and I was all excited because I love all the cuisine, and they served bibimbap, and I got like octopus bibimbap on the plane.
Hell yeah!
Which,
wait, octopus bibimbap?
yeah, bro,
awesome.
it was delicious. However, bibimbap on a plane, and when you don't eat bibimbap every day, probably not the smartest thing to do, because that's just like a stomach nightmare.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
And,
and that's why these.
this
that's
guy-
why
he's got an upset tummy.
I got
quite often.
so excited about it. I was like, "Oh, sweet!" And they gave me it came with banchan, like it came with like 6 little.
Yeah.
Damn, see,
It was
there's
we
so
so
were
much
we
to
were on a
do.
flight to Incheon, and
Did it taste good?
It was
they
great.
Get the bunch on everything.
Did it make you shit and fart?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm.
Well,
Yes.
and so that's why there is a rule. Like when it gets to the facility, it has a 3-day shelf life period. End of story.
Okay.
Right. So like any product not used. Now we can't donate products already plated, right? But we track from the minute it hits the facility to the minute it goes to the plane.
Wow.
It has to get burned. Or if we don't end up plating it, say like projections or flight volume changes or whatever, any of that food we donate to Open Hand.
See, that's awesome.
So we're combating
big.
waste in that way, but you cannot tell me that there's not an unholy amount of waste throughout this.
Well,
food
I mean,
service
and I
industry.
think that
Oh, man.
that comes with
It's
being
insane.
one of the biggest consumer nations in the world. I mean, like, no matter what part of the food industry you want to look at, the amount of waste that you have to calculate, no one is running a perfect.
Yeah.
No one is giving you.
Yeah, the myth of green restaurants, I think, is
a myth. Is exactly that.
It's
There's
like,
no.
we can
no-
operate as sustainably as possible,
Sure.
but like realistically, it is an unsustainable business.
100%.
Right.
You're not
Okay.
gonna,
So
you can't do
that's
that.
exactly right. So what exactly are those lengths that are being taken to make it a sustainable restaurant? Are you just composting? You're selling your compost to somebody, and I'm honestly asking from a place of ignorance. Like I don't know for sure.
I mean, I don't know because I've never purported to like try to run a sustainable.
I mean, it sounds like an impossible thing.
FGR composted everything They also paid extra money to recycle glass. So that like they had a lot of like really awesome policies.
So there's some costs associated with
I worked
it.
with FTR as well back in the day, the front of house,
Yeah.
and Fifth Group Restaurants, great big restaurant group here in Atlanta. And yeah, they had really cool incentives and movements in there where it was like, make sure the glass goes here.
Right.
All the to-go stuff was recyclable stuff.
And what was cool with like the
Yeah.
restaurant
They're great.
They were
worked
great.
in the longest and the one that I like came up in the most was like everybody was on board.
Right.
Like everybody was like, "Yo, who put gloves in the compost bin
Yeah,
again?"
hell yeah, dude.
Like servers, dishwasher,
Yes.
like everybody would call each other out, hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
You know.
That's rare, and it's sort of a fleeting thing because the staff changes.
Right. Well,
cyclically.
what I've found, and again, like Tyler and I've talked about this at length, is, and it's part of what really, really makes me miss the restaurant industry, is that when you build a good team and you take care of your people, they tend to, anyone you bring into the fold, it's kind of like get in line or get out.
Sure.
And like, I'm not going to say we ever had an aggressive culture in that manner, but it is very much like, hey, this is what we do. We take pride in it. And like, and that automatically gets picked up by people in the fold. If they're
Sure.
You kind of ostracize people who aren't with the game.
right.
I mean, it's building a pirate ship, man. I mean, we talk about this over and over. Like, it's you're in this mission together of sort of like the work is the work. You're in the trenches together. Some nights suck. Some nights are great. Some are easy. Some are hard. And then there's the overlying ethos of like, why do we do this? And like, why are we doing this here?
Right.
You know, like, why did I choose this place
This
or
space.
whatever?
There are
you
so
know,
many restaurants.
There's so many restaurants. And so all that stuff layers into the character of the entire crew.
Yeah.
And then it all becomes this wonderful amalgamation of people's different personalities. But
There's
the idea is like, we're all in this together to
Right.
do one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about being on a team with people that you're also competing against.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because if you're a line cook who's gonna give a shit, typically you aim to gain something from this experience as a line cook. This isn't just to pay the bills. It's not just about
Right.
the money. You're there to learn how to be. You want to be a Garmo cook positioned next to the pasta station, and while you're there, you're
Looking
learning,
over,
learning,
leaning,
and then
yeah.
you get on the pasta station,
Yeah.
and then before you know it, you're on the grill station, and then
Right.
hopefully one day you get to learn how to break down the product, and then now my schedule's changed. Now I'm getting
Right.
in the early morning, so I'm breaking down these meats and learning how to portion and learning what yields are, et cetera, learning how to make stock and stuff. And so theoretically, if you want to be a good line cook, it's because you want to learn.
Right.
Right.
Well, so when you suck that out of it, everything kind of goes to
Becomes a
shit.
paycheck.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
Because you thrive on that competition. You need your employees to try to one up the other person. I mean, I know that you've dealt with this too. You saw it firsthand at Empire. We would race one another, see who
Yeah.
can do things fastest, who can do things the cleanest. We will both plate the same fucking dish and see which one chef thinks looks the nicest,
Right.
et cetera. Right?
Right.
Like things like that.
Where you're like looking over like your station part, and part of that also comes with having a good rapport with the team, right?
Oh, of
And-
course.
And
Yeah.
but you're looking
Yeah.
over and be like, seriously, bro? Like,
Oh man,
Really?
I gotta-
we have that right.
like, okay.
I worked at a
cool.
restaurant that made micro mirepoix that we would fold into like dishes that we would glaze,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's something like wheat berries with like charred kale. We would
Right.
throw in micro mirepoix.
Micro mirepoix.
wine.
Yeah, and
Or
just make it really
like brunoise, you know,
like
Yeah,
a
of
perfect
course.
brunoise of onions, carrots, and celery. And I remember doing micro mirepoix one time, and this gal that I worked with came over and just looked at my cutting board and looked at me and she goes, "Is this for stock?"
And you're
And
like, wow.
Oh, dude, I was like gutted too. I was
Like,
first of all, I was like, coming from a podunk town in Mississippi, where we took things really seriously and made really good food, but had never been asked to make micro mirepoix.
Right.
And then went to Empire State South, where at the time, looking back on it, I felt like, holy shit, dude.
This is the big leagues.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. There's
Yeah.
there's not a global knife in sight. Everyone here has like some fucking go fuck yourself,
Right.
ceramic
I
bangs
spent
and
2
like
paychecks
30
on this.
on
Whether
this
that was a
blade.
wise decision or not, I
Yeah.
got it.
So there was like this like
Japanese
there was like
steel
this class-
everywhere.
Yeah, dude. There's like some weird classist shit that goes on amongst the cooking ranks. Right.
I
amongst
mean,
the servants, there are people who consider
there's-
themselves less than a
Closer.
servant
Yeah.
than you are.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Right. You know.
I mean, when I staged at Grace, the sous chef looked at me and said, well, you have to learn how to sear fish before you can work here. And I was like, you didn't ask me to sear anything.
Also weird. That's cool because you freeze and shave all your fish and build some weird
You don't know how to
sculpture.
sear.
Yeah.
And you
Like,
put yeah.
I was like, what?
Get fucked.
I was like, are you still mad at me for like
It's
telling
weird.
you that you didn't have any candy stripe beets in the walk-in, and you telling me I know what I ordered, and then you didn't have
you
them?
didn't have any?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I had no business being in this kitchen. Like, let me
Sure,
tell
you
you,
were stage. Yes, you did. You were giving
well,
them free labor. They were
for
exploiting
sure,
your
for
life.
sure. Absolutely. But as
Yeah.
far as like my experience and what I was gonna get out of it, like if I were to go into a kitchen like that now, it would be my brain would be much more understanding of what was happening.
Sure.
At the time, I was like a freaking fry flat top cook at Lure, which was FGR's like
You went
fish and-
staged at Grace after being like a fry cook?
Yeah, dude.
At
I
Lure?
was.
Let me tell you
wow.
something. I know a lot of folks that worked at places like Grace and also at Grace. They knew you were a fry cook, brother.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh,
saw
yeah.
you coming from across the
Oh
street.
yeah. I mean, they tried to
You
tell
can
me not to
spot
go
some-
there.
Well, what?
Like
Fry and flat top at Lure, though, that's volume, though, bro. You were.
it was. Yeah, it was volume.
batter all over your
Yeah.
arms and shit.
I mean, luckily, not so much batter all over my arms. That was more echo, but but like I was like, yo, dude, I've been doing this thing for like 2 years. I just got into like actual cooking. Like
Right.
I've never gone to culinary school. I like read cookbooks in my spare time, but like you want me to make a Beurre Blanc, I'm gonna tell you sure. What?
Cream
You
in a
know?
Beurre, do you put cream in your Beurre Blanc? Or do you do this like a xanthan liquid? You know what I'm talking about? Like the Unbreakable
Yeah,
Beurre
the
Monte, where you can like
Unbreakable Beurre
boil
Blanc.
the piss out of
I mean, to be honest with you, I want to put Beurre Blanc on stuff.
Yeah, sure. Well, I
Like-
mean, like when you like, so when
like,
you're
I'm
like
like-
glazing,
I'm sorry. He said that so whispery.
Yeah, I
He said,
know.
to be honest, I don't be putting Beurre Blanc on stuff.
yeah,
I'll do that French shit.
yeah, no, but I mean,
Like-
I don't know. For the record, I don't either. But I have been asked to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I used to make
The-
3 or
when-
4 Beurre Blancs, man, per service.
Right. You had one.
And it was just
So
crazy.
I've never voluntarily put Beurre Blanc on any menu. I have
Voluntarily.
made it.
Good call.
Yeah. I-
Surely you've made one though.
I've made several, but like most of them have been, cream to stabilize, right?
Okay.
Because
But not-
I never did that.
You
But
never
I
did
haven't
that.
ever
Never did a cream
seen
to
some
stabilize,
boy.
baby. I never did a
Yeah.
cream. We would do white wine. We would do like 50 shallots.
Yeah.
Julienne, and then you put your peppercorns, your bay leaf, your thyme in there.
Sweat it out,
Sweat it,
wine,
and then
drop
wine, and reduce, and then strain that liquid out. Reduce that even further, and then you just mount butter,
Mount butter into it. Yep.
mount butter.
Yep.
And then like at that point, that's your base Beurre Blanc. Some of these restaurants I was at, you'd add like mango puree, so you'd have mango Beurre Blanc.
Sure. Yeah.
Or mangosteen Beurre Blanc, which
Right.
get the fuck out of here.
Just
doing all the dumb shit.
Mangosteen Beurre Blanc.
But what I really did, my favorite was the back door to chicken piccata, because I would just I would do like a chicken schnitzel and then just hit it with Beurre Blanc and capers and be like,
You're like,
there you go, chicken
done.
piccata. Even though chicken piccata is one of my favorite dishes and I hated having to do that, but that was the only way I could like do it without sandbagging, because I didn't like sandbagging. It just got to hold. Anyway,
That's another thing.
That's
some
the
inside
competition
baseball.
thing, man.
Yeah.
That's the like constantly being like, oh, I want it to be perfect. I want it to be good. I want it to be
Right.
better. and that's
Yeah.
like the addictive nature.
I worked with
of
a guy. I worked with a guy named Bruce Bryant.
Oh,
shout out
shout
Bruce
out
if you ever
Bruce,
sees this. He's
baby.
an absolute fucking gangster. He crushed it on the hot app station at Empire State South for like the last year that I was there, and he and I felt got really competitive on how quickly we could put out the farm egg dish.
Oh, yeah.
It was like multiple touches in a saute pan. You could never really fit more than 3. Sometimes he'd squeeze 4, and he'd kind of like, oh, you see that? Like, all right. You know what I mean? He was like really like...
And like low-key, the farm egg dish at Empire State South was like one to be discussed forever. It was delicious. It was an excellent
And it was like
dish.
really difficult to make. You like overcook Carolina Gold rice and then dry it out. And then,
like puff it. You know?
well, you toss it in tapioca starch. And then
Yeah.
I think you like fried it like 315 or something.
Did you dehydrate it at all?
Yeah, you kind of dry it
Yeah, I
out.
did
Yeah,
dry
yeah.
it
So
out,
you
yeah.
like kind of overcook it and then lay it out on sheet trays for a day.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so
Yeah,
dry, and then we'd toss it in tapioca starch, and then we'd deep fry it at a low temperature, and then we'd have to. I mean, we were doing that
Dreaming about this today.
all day. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't keep up. And I remember when they designed the kitchen or moved into it or whatever, the dude who owned the joint didn't want a deep fryer because he thought that was some hack shit. But his biggest seller was 100% fried product.
So you got a little fry daddy?
No, dude, we had a fucking rondo, and we just had to like vibe it out and make sure on a French top, Alan. So you can't even like
that
fully.
face. Oh, the pain.
You couldn't even fully like regulate. Like if there were 2 stocks on the stove, like on eyes, like you couldn't. You couldn't no space in the rondo, so you're just like shoving sizzle platters under the rondo and trying to regulate, and it's like getting too hot, and all your rice gets fucked. I mean, you just overcooked it and dried it for 2 days.
Yeah, and you're screwed. There's no repeating. I mean, we did,
and so you always have to have way fucking more than you think you need, right? We brought it back with like butter. We like saw it was like the pickup was different all the time.
Makes it hit
though. The butter made it hit though. Bruce knows. And then I remember the pickup would change. It would kind of be like whatever we had to get rid of. Like I think it started with like hot dogs and
it was a hot dog, house-made hot dog with like a corn puree or whatever, green onion.
But the corn puree was even like bougie as fuck. They would like make you like shuck corn and then put it in a bag with like bay leaves, shallots, thymes and butter, and then like sous vide the corn,
right,
and then take it out and reduce it down in a pan until it was like almost sec, and then drop it into the Vitamix, blend it. He would add a little bit of
starches start like
and it gets
out.
Mad thick. So you gotta have some like basically corn stock to add to it to thin it out.
You guys,
right?
Did you say house-made like hot dogs?
Yeah.
Like did they make the wiener?
Yeah, lamb casing.
It was an emulsified sausage.
That was the coolest
Casing
shit.
and lamb casing is the
That
most
is insane.
Painful, bro.
Dude,
so it doesn't have to be. If they're really packed in salt when you get them and you don't let them soak for too long, they're stirdy and they'll hold up.
Those are hacks to the chefs out there.
But people like want to rinse the. I mean, you want like all the physical salt to be removed from the casing,
of course.
But you don't want to soak it for a long fucking time.
Right,
it's like
run the water through
it becomes fragile. At least that's my experience.
They pop, right?
They'll fucking pop.
I made this dumb idea because, swordfish, right? What are you gonna do?
Oh, you made swordfish sausage.
Yep.
Crepinette.
Fucking Christ. No.
No.
You put it in a lamb casing.
No.
I took
swordfish belly.
Jeez.
So all the belly we got from portioning sword.
So it's like 40% fat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Preserved lemon, bunch of Calabrian chilies,
delicious.
Parsley.
I want that.
Did you make a mousseline?
Yeah.
So you put a panade in there. You put breadcrumb and cream?
No cream, no dairy. This is dairy. I put milk powder in it, actually.
Okay, milk powder.
Yeah.
Kind of does what cream does.
Same thing.
Yep, same thing. Binds everything together.
This is the most inside baseball episode we've had, and I love it. Keep going.
And so run all that through the grinder, and then stuff it in lamb casing, poach it, and then we finish it on the grill.
So when you run it through the grinder, do you put it into a mixer, paddle it, and get it emulsified at all? You didn't need to?
We probably should have.
Yeah, should have used
we
the
couldn't
taco
keep
jet.
up. We couldn't keep up.
Mortadella.
Everybody's like, it's not going to sell. It's not going to sell. Number one selling app.
Seafood sausage.
Seafood sausage.
First restaurant I've ever seen it work at. They did
I was like, are you? So I'm sitting there like, I'm the AM sous chef, dude. This is back when like my chef was like, yo, so what's better? Like we were having a conversation during COVID. Like I was the first sous chef to come back to FGR, and I was working with 3 executive chefs, and we were just doing to-go services. Awesome, because it was like, yo, come in at 2.
Honestly, I gotta say, hold
leave
on.
at 8.
Yeah.
If you got into the industry in COVID, and you like rose to sous chef, let me tell you something. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You were putting food in plastic. You had to train nobody.
Dude,
you were
the
there by
amount
your
of
fucking
sous chefs
self.
I've met, and I'm like,
my God.
like, do you know how much I had to pay for this? Like, how much blood, sweat, and tears, failed relationships, missed birthdays, all
Please.
but literally, like when I had this sausage on the menu, like an idiot, my chef was like, yeah, like let's try it, let's see how it goes. It probably won't
Good
sell.
luck keeping up.
300 plates for the month.
So then you're ordering swordfish loin and just saving all the belly. Now you can't get enough belly, so now you're ordering swordfish just to make the sausage.
I've been
Isn't that
at the
about a bitch?
restaurant.
Yeah.
You start off making something that just uses up the trim you can't use on the center of the plate, and then you got to fucking buy
figure it out.
premium swordfish loin to dice it up.
Dice it up and be like, but I'm sitting there, and like as the AM sous chef at this time, dude, I was there at 7 a.m.
Sure.
and prayed to God that I could get my stuff buttoned up by 6.
Right.
Like that's if, the produce order isn't short, or like I get the team to help. And
The
dishwasher
dishwasher shows up.
Right.
like line cook doesn't
Right.
show up. Oh, guess
That's
what,
it.
chef?
That's it.
And you're like, dude, seriously? So I'm like sitting there. There were so many nights where it's like 7 at night, and they're like, yo, we're out of swordfish
We're out of
sausage.
swordfish
And I'm
sausage.
like, yo, I'm stuffing it because I want to let it sit overnight
You don't have
before I
time for that.
poach it and let it set.
No time
And I'm
for
like,
that.
all right,
We're poaching on
getting
the
a
fly.
rondo going,
It's popping.
dropping it in there. It's popping,
It's
it's popping,
popping,
it's
of
popping. I'm
course.
like, yo, dude, that's 2 hours of my life.
It's ballooning.
2 hours of my
You're
life.
throwing it on the grill. It's
Like-
ripping. It's
And how
tearing.
cool was that you got to do that? That was cool, right?
What
It
was
was
the-
so dope that it worked.
That was so cool.
What was
wasn't
the
it,
what
Alan?
was the size of the sausage, and then what was the set?
They were like, they literally, we sold like
Cannellini
They
beans or
made
some
us
shit?
so much money.
I don't doubt it.
Oh my god!
Did
They
you
were
like
like,
a-
they were like, I don't know, maybe 3 ounces, like the size of a finger. We sold 2 of them in like a Calabrian chili remoulade. Boom, boom.
Hold on, just 2 sausages with a
Yep.
piece of
Yeah, we sold
this
them for
was
like-
a tapas.
It wasn't like
Yeah.
a cassoulet or something.
Yeah.
No.
Man,
We sold them
That's what I was
just
thinking.
on the wood fire grill
I don't- yeah.
on a plate, $12 a piece.
fava bean cassoulet. with
Dude,
that.
fava bean.
Did
Get
you-
fucked.
I want the labor on this to be insane.
Dude, yeah,
I want this
yeah.
dish to cost $38
In labor.
and it's 2
No.
little sausages and like a fava bean.
Well, so that's
puree.
another thing too. Is like utilizing waste costs so much time.
Yeah,
You know what I
Sure.
mean?
yeah. And
Which
let's
is why we're
figure
not
out-
meant to be like focusing on volume.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything should, and like a dynamic menu. Like, God forbid you run out of the swordfish belly. Why can't you take that off the
Then it
fucking
becomes
menu?
and then that becomes
Yeah.
the like we can't run out of
I
sauce.
mean,
See, that's fucking bullshit.
I
Right.
could have. I mean, we could have, but it's also like
We
it was
gotta
a-
reprint,
it was a
and there's associated
process,
costs.
et cetera,
I
et
understand.
cetera, et cetera, right? And there has to be a dish to replace it.
I
And like
understand.
FGR,
Does there?
to their credit, like to their credit, for better or for worse, right? Like to roll a dish at FGR, it really made me like learn my
They do-
shit as a chef.
They do want to know
Like,
everything there is to know.
menu description,
Yeah.
3 pillars,
Yeah. Yep.
costed,
3 pillars. Talk to me about
3
that.
pillars. So like textural, taste, concept,
Right,
right?
yeah.
You know, and it's just like write about this is the idea, short blurb, the idea behind it. You know, here are the prevailing
Flavors,
textures,
yeah.
here are the prevailing flavors, right? And like, and then of course, you know, a paragraph or 2 about the dish. And I saw plenty of people like bullshit it, but I got into it. I was like, we're gonna get 2 paragraphs. There's gonna be jokes. Like,
that's what I'm talking
like I
about.
made like a sausage and pepperdew pizza, and I like
Mm.
put cowabunga in the menu description. I was like, cowabunga, this pizza. Dude, a server said cowabunga to a table.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Like
Guy Fieri-
literally,
Guy Fieri
literally
would
they were
be
like, "Hey,
happy."
what's this pizza like?" And she goes, "Cowabunga," and I was like,
But I
Chef-
bet
I
it's
was like,
sold
do
to the
you
right
know-
demographic
I mean, it's
because
sold.
I'm of the demographic. If you just said cowabunga to me about a pizza, I'd have bought that.
Sorry, Chef's a Ninja Turtle. So
yeah. I was like,
You
I was
might
like, wait,
say
have you
Chef
never
Allen
seen
is
Ninja Turtles?
kind of the
Like-
Michelangelo of our staff. I'd be like, rack it up.
But yeah, no. If I didn't have eye rolls and giggles in the middle of a menu rollout because the menu descriptions were so asininely retarded,
hit it, bro.
you know,
Say it with
like-
your chest,
like,
brother. Say it with your
if people weren't like, you know, if people weren't like, oh my god, chef, like we don't pay attention to anyone else's, but like yours were at least like, oh, I gotta read this to see what stupid
Sure.
shit he put in here. I do things like, all right, we're gonna do all alliterations, so like this opulent, outrageous,
you
know,
write a menu the way Tool writes a song, don't you? There's like some message in it for
The
all
whole-
the fucking.
all 9
if
of his
anyone comes
dishes
and eats here, and
It's a
is
parallel to Lateralis, the
Yeah,
album. It's
yeah,
like, what are we doing?
yeah. Yeah.
Dude, like Jared Stieber, a great friend, and I love this dude to death. He runs
Big
and owns
fan.
Little Bear down in Summerhill.
he's awesome.
He did at Empire State South. He ran a nectarine.
Yeah, dude. I actually got to fanboy and talk to him about it when I went to eat there with some friends last time. It's I think he actually did a chicken neck, so he like picked
Yeah.
chicken necks, but. The way I heard about it, and I found it like written, I think.
Well, he wrote that whole thing out.
Yeah, he wrote a recipe for it, but it was like I ended up doing it when I worked at a place or trying to get it ran more frequently. But I made pork neck,
Terrine.
pork neck terrine.
There you go.
So we made like a consommé with the nectarines and the pork neck to make a gelée out of it, right? So and it was like smoked pork neck that we picked the meat. We layered it with the nectarines that we had like soaked in the pork sauce for a long time. And,
Yeah.
like sliced them real
a
thin.
nice
So we did like
nectarine.
pressed smoked pork neck in pork jus with nectarine and then like layers of it, right? And it was a pretty sexy dish.
let it set.
Yeah, you let it set and it's
Beautiful.
I don't know how he did it, but that play on words and the way everyone kind of like always made a joke.
They razzed
about-
him, but it was
yeah. They
great.
always razzed him like, oh, this guy is coming up with some cutesy
Yeah,
thing, you know.
yeah.
But that's been sort of a through line with all of his food. It's like it's meant to have been playful and
It's
stuff.
playful.
Yeah, a
And
little bit of
he
whimsy.
tries very hard not to waste. Like, he uses as much as he can of like peels, rinds, seeds, things that you normally would just chuck.
Yeah.
He'll find a way to make it work.
Which is part of the fun, though. It's part of continuously learning, developing your craft,
100%.
like all these things. These things that I like. I mean, I have tons of cookbooks at the crib, and I'm like, when was the last time I cracked one?
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
Oh man, tell me
Like,
about it.
I'm like, wow, dude. Ooh, like it's painful.
I have like 3 car payments worth of like cooking, like chef related things
Stuff. Yeah.
that I don't need anymore.
Sous vide machine, all
Marina,
the-
dude, the spoon collection
I have a spoon collection
Oh,
that
yeah.
is dumb, dude.
is out of this world. It's one of those like the 4-inch fish boxes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and it's just-
completely full
yeah.
of spoons, and our drawers are full with like these
yeah.
like. Because I mean, I was a spoon junkie for a
But
while.
too.
what people don't know is
Nuts.
like there is the perfect spoon for the job.
You know who made?
Yes.
For me, who
Tell
made
me
the
about
perfect
it.
spoon? Publix came out with a Persian spoon back in 2012, and it was the best. It was a large spade, deep, and it had like a deep dip. It was awesome for baste. It was like
Yeah.
the best basting spoon.
See, but a basting spoon needs to be weighted properly too.
was,
because if
buddy.
it's super thin, it gets hot as shit.
No.
Yeah.
This thing had a thick handle and a thick spade, and you could just flip with that bad boy. And then I couldn't.
Publix makes like
find
plastic
it.
handle shit.
No. This was a metal
OXO.
Parisian.
You bought a
It
Target.
wasn't an OXO brand. I'm telling you,
Yeah, you-
they don't make them anymore, bro. I wish I'm gonna bring this.
They're
spoon
too
in next
expensive. They
episode.
discontinued them.
They did. They discontinued them. I can't find them anymore. I have one left, and it's like the most precious spoon to me because if I ever lose that spoon, I'll be like, I can't get it back.
Yeah.
Like I can't
Well,
get it back.
that's like what I was talking about when I was saying like going to Empire State South and seeing like all of these people with these like bougie things. Like when I left North Mississippi, if you had a really nice knife, it's probably because you were the chef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And good
everyone
on
else,
you, right?
Yeah, and everyone else in the kitchen. I mean, like that slowly changed. Like before I left that area, and like Oxford has a lot of really cool food, and there's a lot of really awesome chefs that do cool shit. But when I worked there, no one had enough 9 pans. Everyone was working out of like delis. They were saving their crab containers. All those
Yeah.
we're storing demi-glace and sour cream containers and
Right.
labeling it demi-glace on like uncut tape that could be 30 feet long if you wanted. Who gives a shit? There was like, it was just sort of like haphazardly thrown together, very much like the way Grandma did it. You know what I mean? Even
Right.
the nicest restaurants there did it the way Grandma did it
Sure.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
We would store cornbread batter, and I'll never forget this. We had like 15 5-gallon buckets full of cornbread batter. You know what I mean?
Just
Like,
sitting.
yeah, and like it said Home Depot on them.
Yeah.
And because we
Gotta
knew
use-
if
gotta
it's in
use,
the
though.
if it's in the Home Depot bucket, that's cornbread batter.
cornbread
You know what I
batter.
mean? And it got made today, so we know it ain't bad. You know
It
what
is
I mean?
what it is. You got to use what you got to use.
But then when I moved into that place where it was like, hey, we have a 9-pan that fits everything, we have this,
Your
and
deli
we have
cups
this,
or
and
whatever.
everything just got
everything.
it became pretty
Labels and dates.
Yeah.
What time you made
Very
it. All the
detail-oriented.
Oh
stuff.
man, it
Yeah.
became
Green tapes for this, blue tapes for this, red tapes for this.
But even
So
like
so
the
forth.
like cut tape, So I went and worked at some
I'm
places.
a huge. I cut. So I don't know if this is probably like a problem, but like at my house, I still.
Oh, yeah.
I have cut blue tape, and everything in my fridge is labeled and dated, and everything is in deli cups. Everything.
Everything's in delis. Definitely cut the tape. Don't necessarily label as much.
I don't do
Right. And I
everything.
definitely don't
but
date. I
I do
definitely
labels
don't.
and
I'm
dates.
like, oh,
I'm obsessed. I can't help myself.
I've
I'm
been
a
storing as much
lazy
stuff in
person now.
glass as I can. now.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah, I've been saving like I'll literally go to the store and be
Jars.
like, I need this size glass container, and I'm like, those artichokes are gonna be perfect once I scrub the label off of them.
Right.
You know, like
Well, isn't that funny? We don't want plastic anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
mean-
it stands to reason. I mean, it's not good for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
say.
nothing's good.
But I
for
think
me.
like
Yeah, right. Nothing's good
Like-
for you.
no, I'd never even crossed my mind for decades.
To use glass or to use anything other than plastic.
Just only
Yeah.
use plastic.
For sure.
And
We were
well, you're
storing
not gonna
hot ass
escape it.
sauces. Oh
yeah. Right.
You'd make a fucking hollandaise and leave it in a fucking quart deli on
Well,
top
I mean,
of the
you're talking
stove.
about
Like,
sous vide and
it's getting-
corn.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I
cooking it
mean?
in a bag.
Which honestly, like, what did that accomplish?
Thank you.
You know, I'm like, why make it complicated? Like it's like, I don't know, man.
It
like,
imparted as much flavor as it would have had you just put it in a pot and
and
cooked
cooked
it.
it, and
roasted
you're
it.
cooking it already. You know, like, well, let's talk about efficiency and like, what is it? What are we doing this to like do it, or are we doing it because it like brings value to the end
Can
product?
we bring it back full circle? Do you get to utilize any? or many of these practices when dealing with
I mean, like
stuff for these airlines? Go back to that.
They would. My boss would like us to,
Sure.
you know, but it is a huge nightmare without, tons of planning. Also, we have USDA,
Right.
like there's a lot of there are a lot more moving parts to this than
Sure.
like, hey, I'm gonna throw it in a bag and throw it in a thing.
Right. You can't be experimental.
Yeah,
This is not this is not time
I
for that.
can but then I have to roll that out and implement it, and it's like
On mass. Like
right.
this has to be
and,
like a
And here's the thing, man. We cook thousands of pounds of food a day. Like I have gone in. We had an issue with, and like when I first started this job, I was working restaurant hours, and I was like, yo, this is annoying as all get out. Like, and my partner was in restaurants, like, so she was working nights. I'm rolling up. My boss is like, you need me here at 7 a.m. I'm like, yo, I signed up for a 9 to 5, and like it's Sunday at 7, and this is my 7th day. Like, what is happening here? Now, that's the nature of the beast, right? I work for a large corporate environment now, and like when the big dogs say this is what's happening, that's the expectation. That's what's happening. What's happening
100%.
when the airline says, here's what's gonna happen, and here's the deadlines, like. It is what it is, right? But I've gone in and I've cooked chicken breasts in a rationale for 5 hours.
Wow.
To cook the order for the day, to be like, to play with the settings, to be like, this is how we get the color, this is how you need to do it, to train the team, and be like, this is how you do it moving forward. Like, I cannot continue to hear feedback from the 20 people who are going to give me feedback about this.
This is the
so
end
like
of it.
now I'm here to do it, but like that's just the amount of product. So for us to sous vide that amount of product,
none of that.
like, and then unbag it, and then chill.
You guys gotta just go ahead and buy it already sous vide.
I mean, you can, then that's profit.
But again, I think this is, to me anyway, it's blowing my mind. Is like, this is what goes into, this is airline food. That's like the joke. Like, oh, it's airline food. Yeah. It's a lot of effort.
It is
It's a huge
and
machine.
it is very hard to put like as much value into it as I found in restaurants. It is very, very, even in my like darkest, like everybody has them, right? You're like, screw this. I'm going back to school. This is a fool's errand. Like nobody does this. This is anyone who cooks for a living. I cannot believe I chose this, right? Like, I cannot believe I've been doing this since I was 15 years old. Let me go. I filled out a Georgia State application like 5 times in my career. And it's just like, I'm good. I'm done. But it's something kept pulling me back, right?
What?
It scratches like a lot of that, like purpose driven, like, I hate to say this, purpose-driven life, because
well,
it's consuming.
There's affirmation.
And it is consuming, and it is very much.
There's affirmation.
It is very right. There's very validating, right?
Sure.
You're very much, and you constantly see improvement. It's like going to the gym, right? You're like, oh, I added 2.5 pounds. I added 2.5 pounds. And you're also, it's every day you're crossing things off a list. Every day you're like, plate sold, party crush. But like, you're constant.
There's achievement. There
constant
are goals
dopamine
being
hits.
met
I mean, like,
and hit.
think about people who get addicted to Candy Crush, right?
Yep.
Like, why are they addicted to Candy Crush? Oh, because I got the new token or whatever. It's like, yo, I got the new token. I nailed every single fish today and it didn't come back.
Which is a great day.
Yo, I came in and I had my station prepped on time. Or like, yo, I came in 2 hours early and so I got the nice spatula and the nice whisk and like these are my pans today.
Oh man,
that's such a language
dude.
too.
That is
like,
such a language.
I would hope that.
Oh yeah.
I would hope that more people understand. Like that's such a very specific and interesting language of like coming in 2 hours early just so that you can get
your favorite spatula.
Your favorite.
Well, and then that's what ends up. You buy your own tools,
of course,
right? And like, to Tyler's point, like you start getting into these situations where like everybody's got a knife.
The first time that hit me, I went from a really nice restaurant where I kind of like, I didn't fake it till I made it. I mean, I earned sous chef, but like it was a much nicer restaurant than I was used to working.
Yeah.
And I didn't own knives. I mean, I had a global. I had a few other things.
Right. Yeah,
And
me
then,
too. That was my first
When
go-to.
that all ended, STK needed a line cook.
Ooh.
And they were like, "Oh, your resume looks great. Come on in." And I came in, and I didn't have any knives. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And I showed up that day on service, and they were like, "We're gonna put you here. We're gonna train you here. Blah blah blah." It's a friends and family. It was the opening of the STK here in Midtown.
Hell yeah.
And it's friends and family. Blah blah blah. So we're just gonna blast this and get through. We're gonna train you for a few hours, and you're gonna be able to do it. I said, "Okay." And we're prepping these leeks for this duck dish, this foie gras dish, and they gave me all these leeks, and they were like, "All right, just cut them at like blah blah blah. I'll julienne them." And I looked at them, and I was like, "Cool, can I bump someone's knife?" And every dude in that kitchen was like, you don't have knives? And I was like, "Nah, dog." Like,
Bro, I'd be surprised if SDK didn't have them zip
Kazini,
tied to the cutting board.
I thought that's what I was going to get. It was a high volume. I was like, "There's got to be knives there."
The 15th
Everybody in
location.
there were literally like, "You don't have your." So like people were letting me borrow knives, but I ended up. It was one of those nights, man. I rocked and rolled. Like it was this crazy foie gras toast dish, and then a crab thing, and a duck thing, and I was killing it. I mean, volume. Like it was volume on friends and family, so it was like 250 covers. Like, it was
10,
crazy, And I rocked and rolled it. And at the end of the night, they were like, "Dude, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Like, we definitely want to bring you on." I was like, "Cool, yeah." I shook hands. I walked to the car, and I almost wept. My back was broken. My feet. I mean, I was like, that was.
You got your ass
I
kicked.
can't. And I thought to myself, I was like, I can't do that every night. Like,
Yeah.
because that was probably like what they would expect a normal Wednesday or Thursday to be.
Yeah, you
Like
get rocked.
Friday, Saturday, you're gonna have another guy on your station with you. You guys got to work in tandem. You guys got to communicate. You're gonna put out twice the volume at twice the speed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm an old man. Like I was like, that's it. I
Better hope
can't.
you don't like stub your toe.
Right,
on the way
no,
to work
no,
and
no.
have in any way any physical ailment
But it
at
became
all.
this whole thing to say it became about the tools. It became about like, I need really good knives. I need really good shoes. Like I need really good shoes.
Right.
Bro, that is something I tried to impress
Huge.
on anyone. So like I had the fortunate experience to like move a lot of people from like knowing nothing to like management level at fifth group, or like to all the way through my line, like from a dishwasher, like you know nothing about nothing here, like let me show you, like I don't know much, but like I can teach you everything I know.
You know a lot though compared to nothing.
But like just impressing things like, yo, you need to stop buying $30 Walmart shoes.
Right.
Like
Go get some good shoes,
like,
dude.
Like you're gonna buy 5 pairs of those this year,
Right.
And that $150,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you can spend on
A
whatever
really
you
nice
want,
set.
Birkenstocks,
Yeah,
Danskos,
whatever it is.
But it's gonna be 100% better for your body.
100%.
Danskos were a requirement at a restaurant I worked at in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
Part of your uniform.
Yeah.
Here's something I want to turn you on to that I learned from nurses. The compression socks.
Oh yeah,
Compression
I wear those
socks.
every day.
Compression
Really?
socks in
I
the,
still wear those.
in the
I-
kitchen.
I
That's
have,
a
like-
game changer.
I have like protrusions on my fat little calves.
Yeah, no, dude, I've actually
It's called
had
varicose veins.
Yeah.
yeah, I've had varicose veins stripped out of my legs.
Oh my
Jesus.
god.
See,
Yeah, because they were bad, dude. Like
Dude,
on my
hold
right
on.
leg, like
Him and I had some drinks the other day, and we were talking about he was. I want to open my own plate. I want to be part owner. I want to do. I want to.
Do you?
Tyler was like, "You're a fucking moron, dude."
No, well, in other words, in a much lovelier tone, I did try my goddamnedest to say that's fucking ridiculous, man. Like,
Don't do that.
yeah, like I mean, you're already like, like I said,
Broken.
bum back. You had
Yeah, dude.
varicose
Put out
veins
the
removed
pasture,
from your
dude. Like-
legs.
But what is it?
But
It's
you're
a,
using your brain now.
it's a crazy thing though. Like, as long as I've been out of it, there are still moments, fleeting, but moments where I'm literally like, man, I could open a spot and I could do this and I could
Well,
do
that's
that.
that's like well, that's the debate, and that's something that we were talking about. Where it's like, what'd you say? 80% of all restaurants fail in 5 years,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
But I've consistently said like, how granular can we get that data? Right? Let me see.
I agree.
Let me
maybe
see
that's not true.
what the statistic is for restaurants opened by operators who have a minimum of 5 years under their belt running a kitchen in a business.
Did you go to college at all?
No, I dropped out of high school.
This guy, like, he's over here number crunching on some spreadsheets, bro. Like,
No, I dropped out of high school because I liked smoking weed and drinking beers and tossing pizza at Mellow Mushroom. And that was the stupidest thing I ever did. And I did that for 8 years because
God bless.
even though I knew I wanted to cook, so the culture and community at this place was awesome. Like, it was, what were we making pizza? Yeah, but like if you were making trashy food, like you'd get clowned
Sure.
on. You'd be like, are you kidding me,
Like,
dude?
step it up.
Like,
Do the
what
thing.
is
Do
this,
the
bro?
thing, yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you? But like, so I started when I was 15, right? And by 16, I was like, yo, this is tight. Like, it's cool. You learn something's new every day, something's different. Like, there are crazy days, but like, people are having fun. People are smiling, right? Sometimes, right? Well, you know, at Mellow Mushroom, it's like, if you weren't smiling, you needed to go out back and fucking get happy,
get
right?
yourself
You know,
happy. Yeah.
chill out a little bit, right?
Yeah, don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Pizza.
And so, but what I did, and like, I like kick myself in the rear for this every time, because I said, I want to go work in like a good kitchen, like a real kitchen. Like, but I'm like, I don't have 3 good references. Like, how am I going to do that? And I did that for years, like until I left Mellow Mushroom, until I was like 21, 22. And like now, knowing what I know, I'm like, dude, I had a pulse. Like, I could have walked into any kitchen in Atlanta and been like, hey, what's up? I want to learn how to cook.
Yeah.
And they would have been like, we're going to work the dog shit out of you. And I'm like, yeah, sure. But like, oh, well, it is what it is.
You know,
You'd have
at least
risen
I'm
and taken
very,
it.
very high.
So what?
At least I'm very, very high.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very
right?
high and I'm willing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's huge.
I'm here for it.
$8 an hour. I spend $3 an hour on weed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can circumvent how much you spend, you know, depending on your entrepreneurial
So if you
skills.
could open something, okay, your druthers, right? Like, it doesn't matter. You got anything you want. You got the funding to back you. You got 5 years to make this work. What are you opening?
A new set of legs.
5 weeks?
5 years.
5 years.
5 weeks to make it work.
He was getting ready to start churning up an idea.
Pizza,
probably pizza.
Yeah, he's like,
I mean, it's so hard to say, like, because like this is the conversation we were having the other night.
Sure.
The industry is so variable. Like, I can't just automatically say I want this space in this side of town with this.
So-
you know, like
Bucket list shit though. Like what?
ideally, dude, literally, and just looking at like numbers and P&Ls from past places that I've run, right? I just want 100 seats in a place where the median income is pushing 200 plus, that they can walk there. Where they don't bat an eye at spending $40 per person because they don't feel like cooking bolognese, you know. So like pasta, easy shit, like
Sure,
easy,
comfort shit.
good exit, like highly executed, easy, high quality product, which is expensive and very difficult to do. Extruded pasta,
Easy
right?
pasta.
Yeah, so you get it.
You know.
Not rolling out sheets.
No, and you gotta
we'll sheet pasta.
and you better
Someone.
you gotta
We got
pay
to
off
tag
that.
that telly.
How much is a good like high volume extruder cost? Like, I think like
Oh, dude,
the one we set up at this restaurant. I worked at-
$5,000 will get you one.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not the big dogs.
The big dogs are 25.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
you
25.
like
But
water hook up to them and everything.
yeah, but you recoup on labor and money. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's gonna take you a while to pay it off, but like, it's
It
good.
will,
How
but
long
you
is
will
that?
pay it off.
Yeah.
And don't you get into a situation where you promise some investor you'll see this amount back at this
Well,
time?
I mean, so this is what I
don't
do.
know.
So I cater for some really high clientele with this job, and you know, I tell them every time I see them, I'm like, if you guys want to make 3% return on $2 million, I am your guy. I am your guy. Do not go to Amex and get a high yield savings account. I
can
you.
give you
I got
that,
you.
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
you.
you have
around.
$2 million to spend? Don't
Yeah.
put it in a high yield savings account.
No. They're
We
offering
will-
3.4, but I got 3 and a place to hang out.
And
Yeah.
I'll only call you at least once a month after
Yeah.
10 p.m.
It'll be
to have
great.
a very important conversation regarding a staff altercation.
This is insanely eye-opening stuff. Honestly, this is one of those like
Inside baseball.
inside baseball thick episodes.
I mean, but like, to answer your question, it's like 16 items, right?
Why
cross-
16? Is this all coming from data you've collected?
This is all this is easily
Well,
number
actually, if you
crunched.
look-
cross.
if you look
how to
in general-
cross-utilize an entire
If
menu.
you do look in general, most restaurants in that kind of like realm are going to be running 18 to 24 plates on a menu, right? You're thinking 6 apps, right? 4 or so entrees, maybe 3 or so sides, and then like pastas or whatever you have in
Filler
your
plates.
wheelhouse, right? You know, it
Risotto,
all depends on the concept, right? So, and I think once you start getting past 25 items, you're looking at
really-
a lot more storage space, a lot more organization,
Less
a lot more waste.
cross-utilization. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, a lot more waste.
And just like ease of execution, right? Like how many stations do you have in this kitchen?
Right.
Right? If you've got 4 stations and you've got 24 items, that's 6 technically. Like if you spread them
He's
evenly.
talking about like
evenly.
your dream situation, and
No, I love that
And in
this
your
guy's
dream
brain-
world, you're still concerned that it may not go right. You know?
In his dream world, he's still
Because that's restaurants.
he's not the owner. He doesn't have the money. He's still relying on someone else's funds.
But like, do you work with coal?
I'd love to.
Really?
It would be sick.
Yeah,
It would be sick, dude.
Pincherton?
Wood fire, like, but again, that is a whole different
know.
skill set.
You can't
But
even
it is
dream.
a draw. So it's like, what's the thing? Like, hey, we have a
Why
lovely.
is it a draw if not if it's only a draw because you know someone's back there working harder?
I don't know, dude. There's something about walking into a restaurant and being like, yo, that is cool. Like, and how many people know how to cook over fire? Right? Like there is a
Yeah,
like
good luck staffing it.
well, therein lies your challenge, right? You know, you're like,
Like burning their fucking arm hairs off every night.
Burn.
$23 an hour.
yeah.
Wow.
That-
You know what I mean?
that's like pushing it, right?
Right.
Like these days, like
Isn't that crazy?
that's like wages are dropping, dude. I'm almost positive wages are dropping. Like
I
that's
can't.
a
I
whole
can't
other
say I haven't
combo.
hired somebody in 3 years. So.
yeah, I mean, neither have I, but like just looking at, you know, think about what wages were pushing for salaried roles 3 years ago versus what they're pushing now, right? They've fallen like 10%, if not more, right? So it's like, I cannot see operators continuing to pay those. And I saw it when I was getting out, where it's like, well, why would you pay a dishwasher $20? I'm like, because he shows up,
Right.
and he
Also
doesn't
there.
touch the wait staff, and he's happy. Like,
And without him, it comes to a screeching halt.
right. And like I'm washing
Then-
enough dishes as is and taking the trash out anyways. So like
Man.
yes, that is
You
money
take the
well
trash out
spent.
because you smoke American Spirit, so.
Oh, dude, I had a rule that I was like pretty good at until I was like really, really crispy and like, dude, this has got to end. I didn't smoke during service. And I didn't allow my staff to smoke during service.
That was a big no-no
Like,
Yeah,
in the
couldn't smoke
restaurants we
anything.
worked at.
Like,
Yeah,
absolutely
you could,
not.
If you smelled like cigarettes,
Yeah,
you
like,
just sit
you
home.
get-
like
guess
what
home.
makes you think that
Yeah.
you should be smoking right now? Like,
Yeah.
If you have time to smoke, you definitely got time to do
Yeah.
something. Torn out
Yeah.
a potato, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make me some money.
yeah. Like,
Yeah, these restaurant owners are like, no, you can't smoke. I need you to make me some
This
money.
was like the Beautiful Mind episode. Like it was all just like formulas and factions, and it was insane. Like this is insane, dude. Alan, wow. Like we're at the hour. That's it. We hit the
oh,
hour.
well, sorry.
No, don't apologize,
Sorry, what? Are you
dude. That
kidding
was
me?
incredible.
We don't have like a list of questions we got to ask.
This
here.
is exactly. This is an
we can
organic
do it again. I
conversation.
mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
we'll bring
This
you.
was the podcast.
We will certainly bring you back for more in-depth, granular number. I mean, this was insane. This is the kind of stuff I wish somebody would talk to me about way back when I thought like being a chef was just being a cool pirate that sometimes got BJs in the bathroom. Like that's not real.
I mean, that's part of it,
But I
right?
never got one BJ.
But you have to know calculus.
Yeah, you got to know how to do Excel.
Dude, if I knew calculus, I'd make a lot more money.
think you know
maybe?
calculus?
I don't know.
You like
Maybe not with
fully
AI.
do know calculus
Yeah, low key
and
you know,
algebra.
calculus. That's the pod, dude. Alan, thank
Yeah,
you
man.
so much for
Thank you
joining
for
us
having me.
today.
That was fun.
That was amazing. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Produced by Do You Validate?